I am in my early 50s. I am maxing out my 401k. Should I save it into an IRA or a brokerage account? I make too much money for a Roth IRA and I wouldn't be able to deduct my contribution to my IRA.
That's a great question. And one of the things that I think is interesting, at least for me, I've done over 6,000 financial plans. I'm working on my 36th year here. Every 6 months, we go through a strategy session with clients. And I've been able to see all of these paths that people take. And one of the things that I would say I would encourage people to look at is just the structure. Like, where is the money, the buckets of money that you kind of have? And so for those people that have everything in 401ks and IRAs and those types of things, there's some advantages in the sense that, we can make moves from one area to another in the market with no tax. In today's world, we don't even have commissions, which is kind of nice. But there's also some disadvantages. If you need some lump sum for something, oh, I got to do my foundation and I need, 50,000 or 75,000. It can be very, taxable because now I'm pulling that out of my IRAs and it's 100% taxable at ordinary income rates, which can be quite high, versus having some money outside in kind of a regular brokerage account where you got a capital gains tax rate instead of an ordinary capital rate. And then having that other money at the beginning of your retirement to live off of, lowering your taxes, especially, at the beginning, allows you, if you're so inclined, to start converting some of your 401ks or IRAs into Roth IRA. And it gives you just some room within those lower tax brackets to move stuff over. And so I would think in your case that I would be looking at trying to add to a non-retirement account. The brokerage, we call them taxable accounts. There's different names for them, but really trying to get some assets into a different bucket. Now, if you're thinking about retiring early, before 59 and a half, that's even more important because the money coming out of those retirement accounts are penalized before 59 and a half. So if you're going to retire, if you're 50 now and you're going to retire at 55 or hopeful, then you definitely want to build up some assets outside of those retirement accounts so you have something to live off of during that period of time. There are some ways to take money without penalty, called the Rule 72T, out of those retirement accounts. But given the choice, building up some assets outside wouldn't be a bad solution.
So you talked about taxes. If I was to build a brokerage account outside, what's some tax efficient ways I can do it? Should I be just, throwing all my money into an index fund and kind of forgetting about it in a sense?
Yeah, we actually develop specific portfolios for taxable accounts, and they're designed for more broad market exposure so that we don't have to make changes very often. And so you'd want to be in kind of all of the areas. Matter of fact, in my opinion, you want to be very broadly diversified. Maybe you have some targeted pieces that you might move around, but they should be fairly small and fairly infrequent. And you really need to hold on to those for more than a year. It's a very different philosophy of investment, in my opinion, for those areas. But yeah, I actually would be looking at some index, exchange traded funds like that Vanguard Total Stock Market Index that we just looked at. It's very tax efficient. You will pay taxes on dividends, as they're paid out. But the actual holding itself, the exchange traded fund, does not pay out a lot of taxes uncontrollably to you. So it allows you to pick when you want to get those. And so I think that's probably the right strategy. But you need to have a specific portfolio for that type of account, in my opinion.